The Dragvari Empire had devoured galaxies. With technology so advanced it seemed like magic and armies numbering in the trillions, they were unstoppable. No planet, no species, no civilization had resisted their conquest for more than a solar cycle. They were the apex predators of the stars, their empire sprawling like a dark net over the cosmos. But when their fleet arrived in Sol system, they encountered something they had never faced before: Earth. The initial scans of the blue-green planet revealed little of note. Primitive fusion reactors dotted its surface. Orbitals were limited to satellites and a single aging space station, and its dominant species, humans, were a biological anomaly, fragile and short-lived. The Dragvari fleet commander, Zalthar, dismissed the planet as a trivial conquest. Another stone to add to the empire, he sneered as the flagship, Eclipse of Eternity, positioned itself in Earth's orbit. Deploy the drones. Let's end this quickly. Thousands of automated attack drones descended from the flagship, darkening the skies over major cities. The plan was simple: overwhelm Earth's infrastructure, disable its defenses, and subjugate its population. It was a strategy that had worked flawlessly on countless worlds, but the humans were different. Within moments of the drone's descent, Earth's skies came alive with countermeasures. Lasers, kinetic railguns, and missile barrages tore through the invading swarms. Zalthar watched the battlefield reports with a mixture of amusement and confusion. Interesting, he muttered. They fight back. How quaint. But it wasn't quaint for long. Human ingenuity and resourcefulness turned the tide of the battle. Makeshift EMPs knocked entire squadrons of drones out of the sky, while Earth's air forces coordinated with uncanny precision. Even civilian resistance was formidable. Humans fought tooth and nail with whatever they had, from rifles to Molotov cocktails, and the Dragvari quickly realized that these so-called primitive creatures were anything but helpless. Days turned into weeks, and Earth still had not fallen. Zalthar, now visibly frustrated, ordered ground troops to deploy. 10,000 Dragvari soldiers landed on the surface, armed with energy weapons and clad in impervious exosuits. They expected to crush the human resistance in a matter of hours. Instead, they faced a nightmare. The humans used guerrilla tactics that defied all logic. They struck from the shadows, blending into their environment with a mastery that bewildered the invaders. Cities became death traps. Forests turned into mazes of ambushes. The Dragvari soldiers' advanced technology was rendered useless in the face of human unpredictability and ferocity. In one particularly stunning defeat, a squadron of Dragvari elites, genetically engineered warriors who had never known failure, was lured into an abandoned subway system in New York City. They never emerged. Hours later, a hacked broadcast was beamed to the Eclipse of Eternity. It showed the squadron's shattered remains, with the words, "We Elysium to Earth," spray-painted on the walls behind them. As the weeks stretched into months, desperation began to seep into the Dragvari ranks. Zalthar, once supremely confident, now found himself pacing the bridge of his flagship. Every strategy, every weapon, every maneuver they employed was met with an infuriating level of resistance. Earth was bleeding them dry. "Commander," said one of his lieutenants, a younger Dragvari named Calvin, "the humans, they're unlike anything we've encountered. They adapt too quickly. Their unity under pressure is illogical." Zalthar glared at him. "Illogical? They are animals. Stubborn, yes, but breakable. They must be." But even Zalthar could not deny the evidence. Earth's defenders were winning. It wasn't just their technological adaptations, it was their spirit. Humans refused to submit. They fought not just for survival, but for something deeper: their families, their freedoms, their planet. For the first time in Dragvari history, an invasion had turned into a stalemate. One fateful day, the Dragvari attempted their most desperate gambit. They deployed the Oblivion Protocol, a planet-cracker weapon designed to annihilate entire worlds. The massive device was positioned above Earth, its countdown ticking ominously. The humans responded in a way the Dragvari had never anticipated. Instead of retreating or surrendering, they launched an all-out assault on the weapon. Every nation on Earth pooled its resources. every satellite and spacecraft repurposed for the mission. Astronauts, engineers, and soldiers volunteered in droves, knowing it was a one-way trip. The final battle was the stuff of legends. Human ships, scrappy and outdated compared to the sleek Drakvari fleet, darted through enemy fire with reckless precision. Boarding parties stormed the Oblivion Protocol with nothing but sheer determination and improvised explosives. Zalthar watched in disbelief as his masterpiece, his ultimate weapon, was destroyed in a blinding explosion. The aftermath was chaos. The Drakvari fleet, demoralized and leaderless, retreated into hyperspace. Zalthar himself was captured by a human strike team, brought before Earth's united leaders. He expected humiliation, perhaps even execution. But instead, he was met with something far worse: pity. A human general leaned forward, staring into Zalthar's many eyes. "You thought we were weak because we're small, because we bleed, because we don't have your fancy tech. But you forgot one thing." Zalthar's voice was hoarse. "And what is that?" The general smiled grimly. "We're human. We don't break. We get back up." Years later, the Drakvari Empire was no more. News of their defeat at Earth spread like wildfire, sparking rebellions across their territories. Species that had once cowered under their rule found hope in humanity's victory. Earth became a symbol, a beacon of resistance against tyranny. As for the humans, they didn't pursue conquest or revenge. They rebuilt their world stronger and more united than ever, but they also kept watch, knowing that the stars held many dangers. They had proven they could stand against the galaxy's greatest power and emerge victorious. And now they were ready for whatever came next. Humanity had earned its place among the stars, not as conquerors, but as defenders, as a species that would never bow, never break. The galaxy had learned a harsh lesson. Earth stood strong, and it always would.